to talk to you about greenside bunkers and some important tips that you want to try and make sure that you implement whenever you find yourself in a bunker around the green. The first thing I want to talk a little bit about is your actual club face and how you set up to the ball. So we always want to make sure that we set up to the ball with a little bit more slightly open club face. The way that you actually accomplish this is if you're a right-handed player, you're going to take the club in your left hand. You're just simply going to move the club just slightly, move the grip slightly to the right, and then you'll put your right hand on top. When you set down your club, you'll notice that it opens up your club face quite a bit. More of the club face will be pointing up towards the sky. Opposite of when we set up with the standard club face, we're going to see more of the club face towards our target. So like we said, whenever we set up to bunker shots, we want to try and open that club face just slightly. The other thing that does is it actually adds a little bit more bounce to our club. Bounce is extremely important whenever we're hitting these greenside bunker shots. Helps us get out of the bunker, helps the ball get up in the air a little bit easier. If you're a little uncertain if you have enough bounce on your wedge, we do recommend that you see one of the golf professionals here at St. Andrews just to do a double check to see what kind of bounce you have and to make sure that that's the appropriate equipment for you in bunkers or really just for greenside shots, any type of shot around the green in general. So once we get our club face a little bit more open at setup, the next thing we're going to look at is our actual ball position. So when I set up to a bunker shot, I want to feel like my ball position is a little bit more forward in my stance. A lot of times we'll see players actually try and set up to it with the ball position a little bit more back in our stance. Like we said, we want to feel that that ball position is more forward in our stance when we set up to the shot. The next thing that we really want to try and focus on is our actual motion. So one thing that we see a lot of times when people get into bunkers is a little bit of fear. They fear the shot, they don't feel comfortable making a full swing. It's so important whenever we're in a bunker shot that we're trying to create power and speed. So the one way that we create power and speed is obviously we have to take a full swing, but the other thing that's very important is as we come through, we really want to feel that our body and our weight drives towards that front of our body, okay? We want to try and feel for a right-handed player that weight is really moving to our left side. We're really getting through with a nice and powerful motion. So when I set up to this shot, once again, I'm going to open my club face just slightly. I'm going to make sure my ball position is a little bit more forward in my stance, and then I'm going to go ahead and make my motion, which hopefully you see is a nice big full swing, nice and powerful. Good. So I had the perfect splash out of that shot. Once again, hopefully what you see is when I came through, I'm definitely, all of my weight is transferred to that left side. Really, really important. We don't want to see this motion here that we see out of a lot of players, which is as they come through, they tend to fall on their right side. We kind of only see the club extend to right about here. That's going to make it really difficult to ever get out of these bunkers. So once again, don't be afraid, take that fear out of the equation, set up to it properly, and then have a nice powerful swing where we're getting the ball out of the bunker.